Hey, my narcissistic abuse family. I have a topic today that's great, relevant to our struggles and residual impact of having a narcissistic abuse upbringing, any exposure to a narcissist in your life, primarily if you were raised by a narcissist. So my topic today is why we don't have friends. And there's two primary reasons. There's a whole host of residual reasons that have resulted from a narcissistic parent and the impact it has had on us and our relationships and interactions throughout life. But I'm just going to focus on two reasons that are main contributors. So, if you're like me, so my husband has a best friend since like grade school. It's insane to me. Like, they've been friends for at least 30 years, I'm going to say, and that's wild to me. Like, I've had friends, thankfully, throughout life, and when I was in school, I was actually very outgoing, and it wasn't a problem making friends. I was in athletics, I was in sports, I did soccer, I did volleyball, and I had great relationships with my teammates, and I was in clubs and all of that, but these friendships never really stuck. And I'll tell you why. Because when you have a narcissistic parent and a narcissistic mother, in my case, and narcissists they're incapable, first of all, of having meaningful, substantial relationships to begin with. So narcissists are incapable of having genuine connections with other people. So that includes romantic relationships, friendships with their children, etc. Toxic duo, for example, they've been married for 40 something years and they're awful. Their relationship is not genuine. It's very superficial. It's very for show, but another story. So, because the narcissist is incapable of having a genuine connection with another person, they don't have real substantial friendships. I've said this before, narcissists have followers, they don't have real friends. They have people that will, blow smoke up their skirt all day long, that will never challenge them, that will never go against them, so to speak. Just enablers, basically. So the narcissist surrounds themselves with followers, with cohorts. And because these immature individuals are wildly resentful and jealous and envious of even their own children, they don't want you to form meaningful connections with anyone either. So they do subtle, passive-aggressive techniques that will sabotage your friendships throughout life. And particularly when you're a young child, your parents have so much influence over you. So they just plant a seed and it sticks in the back of your mind and ends up destroying your relationships. For example, so I had numerous girlfriends throughout life, and I could think of several off the top of my head that the narc didn't approve of. One in particular in, I guess, middle school, high school, and the narc would, obviously disapprove of my friendship with this person. And she would say things that were derogatory, that were negative in reference to my friend. So as my mother, that's your primary influence in your life, these things kind of stick in the back of your mind, and they'll undoubtedly have an impact on your relationship. So the other contributing factor is that we always want to earn our parents' approval, regardless of if they're toxic as hell. We didn't know this back then. I didn't know this back then. So you're always trying to please them, essentially. So you don't want to be friends with someone that they don't approve of. So ultimately, it's like water in cracks with rocks, right? Like it's eventually going to freeze and blow the whole thing apart. So that's what has happened with friendships. This is a main contributing factor, is that the narcissist is obsessed with control. They can't have any loose variables, things that are out of their control, which would include friendships on your part. So the other thing is that if you have a substantial friendship, someone that cares about you, that you care about, they're going to wise up to the fact that your home situation is profoundly toxic, and they're going to say something about it. They'll advocate for you, and the narcissist doesn't need anyone contesting them. They don't want anyone challenging them, so they will do their best always to keep everything under their control, and that includes isolating you and keeping out outsiders. They don't want anyone to infiltrate their narcissistic domain. So this is a major contributing factor to why we don't have substantial friendships, because our narcissistic parent have sabotaged our friendships throughout life, and particularly in our primary childhood years when you establish meaningful friendships. Second of all, because we are attracting toxic people that are not good for us, that will not be viable friends. Because we have been conditioned to tolerate disrespect and mistreatment, thanks to our narcissistic parents, partners, whatever. Primarily our parents. We have been conditioned to believe that chaos and uncertainty is normal in a relationship, because that's what we know from growing up from our parents. So we in turn gravitate to these toxic relationships. I can think of several examples of this as well. A lot of people that have grown up in a toxic narcissistic home gravitate to a toxic narcissistic relationship. Hopefully you've been spared from this, but I was not. Previously, I was engaged to a narcissist, and I know this is the case for a lot of us, unfortunately. Narcissistic parents, the gift that keeps giving, they just keep having terrible impact on your life. Their influence is so far reaching. So one of my professors in college actually told me that, I majored in psychology, and she told me, I'll never forget that I gravitate to people that need help because I want to fix them. And I have a feeling that this is applicable to a lot of you as well. We gravitate to people that are unhealthy, that are not good friends, that are not good partners, because this is what we're used to. This is our norm. For example, my husband and I, when we met each other, he loved me so much and so unconditionally. We had an amazing relationship, and I broke up with him so many times because I just wasn't used to it. I was like, what do I do with this? Like, I was not used to being treated well, being loved unconditionally. So those are the two main reasons. These are two primary variables that contribute to us not having substantial friendships. Hopefully later in life we're overcoming the toxicity, we can identify these issues and overcome it and establish meaningful friendships. But a lot of us find comfort in animal connections, in pets. Hands down, I absolutely love and treasure my dog, Gino, currently in life. But I remember when I was in my 20s and I was going through this horribly toxic, volatile relationship with the narc. We would make up, break up every other week. And I got a dog, and his name was Ralphie, and it's indescribable, right? The relationship that you establish with your pet, that's unconditional love to the highest degree. They're better companions than any human could ever be. So these are two major reasons why we have difficulties establishing friendships. One, because our narcissistic parents sabotaged our relationships because they don't want any outside threats contesting their undisputed reign in their dysfunctional narcissistic domain, being the home. Second of all, we gravitate to toxic people that end up failing us in some way, and they just don't go the distance in terms of friendships. So I hope this was useful to you guys. It is Christmas this week for anybody that observes, so Merry Christmas, and I will hopefully be back soon with another video. Everybody's waiting for me. We're going sleigh riding today. Please please subscribe. I always forget to say this, but that really helps me to know that this is valuable to you and that you are able to use and apply the information that I'm putting out there if you give me a thumbs up. Like I said, please subscribe so you know when I put out new videos. And I love and appreciate each one of you. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. We are all healing each other. We're bumped and we're bruised, but more than anything, we are blessed because we're overcoming this toxicity. We're identifying the issues and we're working to overcome it. So, all right, you guys, I love you all. See you soon.